Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and this week we are going to be reviewing One Piece 1000, or Chapter 1076, Old Friends. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. This is Akainu Fanboy. The other guy is Geboss. So, Geboss, initial thoughts on the funny banter between Lucci, Kaku, Zoro, Luffy.
So we pick up from last chapter. Luffy seems less disgusted this chapter than from the end of last chapter. But I mean, Luffy's just being Luffy, just kind of accepting people at their word, even though it's Lucci and Kaku, which is kind of strange because he knows how much like Lucci affected Robin.
Yeah.
So I don't know necessarily about that, but I mean, skipping forward a little bit, he just seems very confident in his like abilities. Like when he says like, when those four guys, the Seraphim, are out of the way, and you realize you can't beat me, you won't be a sore loser and go after my friends or the Vegapunks. I don't know if we've ever seen Luffy like this confident before.
Yeah, no, you're right. That stood out to me, and it kind of resembles the confidence we see with Shanks at the latter part of the chapter too, right? Mm-hmm. So I do find that pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And then I think I see an interesting parallel right here with the whole Crocodile Luffy VV situation, right? You know, and this is like kind of mirrored with the whole Robin Lucci Luffy situation too. You know, just kind of an old foe ally, even though they did harm and everything. You know, so which I do find interesting. It's funny. It does look like Kaku is like lying right here. You know, and see like a similar dynamic where like, you know, Kaku is Lucci's right hand, same as Zoro to Luffy, and they're like kind of arguing with their captains in a way, right? Mm-hmm. And because like Lucci's like, I mean, yeah, we're gonna eliminate all 7 Vegapunks, and Lucci don't just blurt it out like that, right? So it's just funny. He's like, I won't show Stussy any mercy, and then like Kaku's just like, dude, just shut up, come on, seriously, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, you just see an interesting dynamic, the Luffy Zoro dynamic with Lucci Kaku, but they're just really blunt, you know, about everything. They don't try to hide it or be tactful, you know?
Yeah, they are kind of similar in that way.
Yeah, it was kind of the first time, yeah, like you know, we do really see Lucci show a personality. You know, he still has like that willpower to fight and everything. You know, like you're still the top priority in my list, you straw-hatted bastard. You know. It's funny, the little bubble with Zoro. Oh, he took the bait, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've said in the past that for me at least, Lucci's been kind of not much of a 3-dimensional character. Mm-hmm. But I am liking this seeing this side of him, like getting angry at Luffy. Because like Luffy's like saying that he's stronger than them. It's damaging to his pride.
Yeah, right. It was also, I don't know, I just like that panel with the cuffs going off and everything. That's how you know it's like something epic, right? You just see them not in the cuffs without them actually getting out of them, you know?
Yeah.
It's we've seen that dynamic before quite a few times in One Piece, and I always like that little trope, and we get to see Gear 4 again as well, which some people were thinking we'd never see again.
Yeah. So I think this kind of brings into, if we're talking about power scaling, that he had to go Gear 5th for Lucci. And Lucci's not even in his awakened form dealing with this. Yeah. So just saying, because I will defend Lucci. I know a lot of people were like shitting on him.
Yeah, Jimper said he got low def, yet he's in going up against the Seraphim right now. So
yeah. Speaking, go ahead.
So I'm just saying, for both Kaku and Lucci, you kind of just see them like Oda kind of implicitly like, yeah, I'm pairing them up to an extent in terms of power, you know, not like as equals, but approximated to one another in terms of power, you know.
Yeah.
Because the entire just seeing both Lucci and Luffy fight together is crazy, and the Kaku Zoro panels were really sick too.
Yeah. But speaking of the Seraphim, we learned that S-Hawk has Mr. One's Devil Fruit. So I guess theoretically, all of the we kind of saw this with S-Shark, Jinbei's Seraphim, where I guess they just have access to all like the Impel Down prisoners fruits, because that's where assumedly they got Senor Pinks and they got Mr. One's, because there's no way that Mr. One is dead. He's with Crocodile.
Yeah.
So what do you think that this could mean for like the future of like fights? Because I mean, so many people were imprisoned in Impel Down. Even like Luffy was imprisoned in there when he got caught. So
right.
Theoretically, they could have his fruit.
Right. So I do think the Boa Seraphim has the Miss Merry Christmas fruit. You know, I think that's highly likely.
Boas has has boas.
I'm joking. I guess that's just there might be a question there if the Seraphim could have multiple devil fruits, but yeah, that might not be the case though. Yeah, maybe we'll see the Weevil Seraphim have the Mr. 5 devil fruit with the booger fruit, you know, something like that, you know.
Yeah.
But
that would actually be kind of funny.
It would be funny. And also I was kind of thinking of let's see, Shiki was in there.
Oh yeah. Bring in Shiki's power without actually bringing in Shiki.
Yes.
That's like some next level like disrespect to him. Like, yes, he's canon, but
so there's that aspect there. Yeah, it's definitely a high ceiling that you can do with this. And I'm really curious to see about even Buggy's fruit.
Yeah.
Right? Unless there's probably Buggy Seraphim at this point. So if we have, let's say, Impel Down and the Warlords and all their DNA, it makes you think like, I don't know, maybe they got DNA through other things. Do they have the Admiral's DNA? Do they have Garp's DNA? There's, I can understand these are like the highest level is the Seraphim, basically, you know.
Yeah.
And they do seem pretty aggressive, you know, like it is kind of funny how Zoro's fighting Mr. One. So it's just this whole arc is like nothing but callbacks to previous arcs, you know?
Yeah.
So do you think the Seraphim are down and out, or they're gonna get back up?
Oh no, I think they're gonna be back up.
Yeah.
But yeah, never would I have thought that there would be a Luffy and Lucci team up panel.
Yeah.
Except like during the final war, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like there was something else that. Oh yeah, they want to take out Stussy too, because they betrayed. Because we talked about how like Lucci's never gone through betrayal. He's been the one betraying. So
yeah,
it does kind of show like the difference between how Lucci treats betrayal rather than Luffy, like Luffy did with Robin. But Robin was doing it for like noble intentions.
Yeah. But he didn't know that at the time, but he still trusted them, and well, Lucci doesn't really care, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of betrayal, we get to Dr. Vegapunk being locked up here. Still no idea who did it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and also then we find out that the whole affair has been baffling from the start. Word leaking to the world government about our research into the poneglyphs should have been impossible.
Yeah.
So yeah, just more and more evidence that this is going to be another of the whatchamacallit, Vegapunk, Paths of the Vegapunk that are going to be responsible for this.
Yeah. So what I kind of gleaned from this, we see the CP, the Cypherpole agents, one of them saying like those weaponized sea beasts attacked us and we were brought back to the island, and I'm just kind of thinking like Lilith was the one that was in charge of those attacks when she attacked the Sunny. So
yeah,
maybe like the Vegapunks are taking orders from this like what were we calling it? The Labosphere. And maybe they're like not even realizing that they're betraying the real Vegapunk.
Right.
Also, I was curious because it looks like Vegapunk's like in a like sea prism cuffs. So would that negate his like abilities of like being smart?
I assume so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. So,
but
maybe that's why he doesn't know what's going on. Like maybe the sea prisms, the cuffs like interfering with his thinking capabilities.
So do you think the rest of the Seraphim are on the island?
Well, it says that there are definitely 4. And those are the only ones that have been brought up. So,
yeah.
I would say probably not.
Okay.
But yeah.
Because theoretically, we could have a Blackbeard, Weevil, Doflamingo, Crocodile, Moria.
He's the most fearsome.
Yeah, and then Tropical Law.
Yeah. Ooh, I can see it now. Oda off screens Law and just brings in his Seraphim.
Yeah, just like Hunter x Hunter with a Kite.
Yeah. But
still living in spirit.
Yeah. I could go. There's a whole video on why Kite doesn't necessarily work in the anime compared to the manga, but that's not for this discussion.
But continuing, we see the Navy sending over 100 ships of all sizes from G9. And was G9 the base where Helm Meppo was?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was. I think that was G12 or something.
Okay.
I don't know, but this is like giving me like almost like Buster Call energy. Like just reading about it. Like all these warships are coming. They're trying to get rid of Vegapunk, and it's related to the poneglyphs.
Yeah, right.
Have we seen anything like Vegapunk said? It's been a while since I've actually reread some of the older chapters. He said that he was studying the poneglyphs, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. It was G14 base.
Okay, G14 was with Helm Meppo. We haven't been introduced to G9.
I don't know if we have.
Because GA was the filler arc, and then Smoker was
some place else. Yeah.
So I think G9's a new district. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. G5 was for Smoker, and I think G1 is the old Marineford base too.
Okay.
Yeah. With Momongo is in charge of that one, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So G9 is new. Yeah.
Yeah. But then we get to the big part of the chapter, which is hard to say following after Luffy and Lucci teaming up. But
yeah.
What did you think of this section?
The theorists get a little credit back. You know, they've been losing a lot of credibility. I know Shanks being at Elbaf was one of them. So get a W there. It was pretty hype, and like I said, you see some parallels with Luffy in this, and then seeing Bragi and Dory, right? Again, the four giant squad is it makes it seem like a setup that there is gonna be some type of reunion with the Straw Hats and the Red Hair Pirates pretty soon. That's my thought, you know, because this is kind of the perfect setup for Usopp when you think about it. Who definitely needs some love after Wano, where he did nothing. So,
what are you talking about? He showed his Conqueror's hockey.
Yeah, sure. And also, I guess there's allies here too for Shanks, and it does make you think like, kid, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's. Yeah, I do not see high hopes for Kid in this exchange.
Like, you're not Luffy. You don't have plot armor like him. Like, Kid is Luffy without plot armor. That's basically what it is, you know?
Yeah. So, it seems that, like, I think we talked before about how almost Shanks is like a balance keeper or whatever. Like, he doesn't necessarily want to fight people. Like, he's asking, like, okay, he can hand over all his poneglyph rubbings, or he can fight me. Like, he's giving Kid a way out of this, which I thought was interesting.
Also, that he doesn't have the rubbings himself too.
Yeah, that was another thing that I thought was interesting. Because he seemed like okay, we might as well just go and get the One Piece now. But it seems like he doesn't have either access to it, or he needs it, or he's like, maybe he's taking it from Kid to like discourage him from going there. Like, he's not ready.
Right. Yeah, the only way I can see a victory with Kid in this scenario is if he goes back to his roots of kind of being a scumbag and attacking innocent civilians.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But I mean, it said that like, there's multiple ships at Elbaf that are Shanks's allies, which I thought was interesting. Because we've never really seen Shanks have anyone but his crew. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I guess he is an emperor, so it did kind of go without saying that he had forces. I mean, I think Kaido's really the only one we didn't really see with tons of allies, to be honest, you know?
Well, I mean, he had his, like, the gifters and all the... He had the... that's the thing, like...
That's like his crew, not like allies, you know?
Yeah.
Like Orochi. Okay, fine. Yeah, let's
well,
go.
He had Orochi, he had Doflamingo.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's just they were never together really in one place. And the thing is with... This is a little tangent, but... in terms of, like, Kaido... like, it's like, oh, he had like these tens of thousands of people on Onigashima that were fighting against the samurai and everyone. But I mean, in the end, it was just like background fodder on one side fighting background fodder on the other side. Like, I'm much more intimidated by like Big Mom's crew than Kaido's crew, because like the Toby Roppo were the only thing, and like and Jack King and Queen, whereas like Big Mom had her whole family. So
yeah, right.
That's just my
from
tangent.
Oven to Daifuku to Perospero,
even Smoothie,
Cracker Snack. right?
Yeah.
You know, or even Mondor, right? Yeah, there's definitely a lot more notable characters that stand out for sure.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if I'm reading too much into this, but it seemed like Beckman was the one that took Kid's arm.
Yeah.
Did you read that, or am I reading too much into it?
No, I think like honestly, yeah, that's kind of where I always felt. I mean, I think that's a plausible interpretation.
Yeah, because he said like Killer says like they took your arm before you even got a glimpse of Shanks. So.
Oh, he's definitely leveled up. Kid's leveled up quite a bit.
Yeah. But I mean, this isn't going to be like a fight with Big Mom where he can just be giant magnetic bull go. Like that's not going to be a fight that he can win.
Yeah, so that's why I think he's going to do something shady. I mean, it sucks because Kid doesn't have really much of a good crew. You know, I kind of wanted his force to grow after Wano, but that didn't happen, obviously, you know? And, you know, like, Luffy has, like, a warlord of the sea and all this stuff, but just look at this. He you know, nothing really has grown for him, in a way, so that's kind of troublesome, you know?
Yeah. But I think it is interesting that both him and Law are in these situations where they're fighting emperors. Maybe... yeah.
We assume how one of those is going to go. We're not sure how this one's going to go.
Honestly, I have more faith in Law versus Blackbeard than I have Kid versus Shanks.
I think Blackbeard has better luck. That's why. And then Shanks... Nah, I kind of feel like he has to go before the end of the story. That's just me, though.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of like this fight with Kid, I feel like Kid has less of a chance against Shanks than Law against Blackbeard.
Yeah. I guess we know, narratively speaking, we know Blackbeard is going to be there at the end, and probably Shanks won't be. I'd say like that. And you're just kind of like, oh, whoa, like your expectations for Kid is so low, right? That he's not going to do it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that Kid's going to kill Shanks, though.
Yeah. He may get something that he wants, though. We're not sure why he's going here.
Yeah.
Might just see them in the way, you know? Who knows? Maybe Shanks will take off because he hears about what happens with Blackbeard versus Law.
Maybe. But, I did want to say...
I did notice that they both have scars over their eyes. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, Kid, like, physically has a lot of characteristics similar to Shanks, like the red hair and the scars over the left eye. I thought that was somewhat interesting.
Yeah. Like,
they could be somehow related, just because red hair like that is kind of rarer. Oh yeah, I just wanted to point out the panel where like Kid's ship sees the other ships. Those ships on the horizon are all his. That panel, you can, I think we talked about this a while ago, how like something to do with like the atom tree being invisible. Because you can kind of see in the background there, like those stripes. That looks like something. And then we see like right next to it, there's like a huge tree, like even towering above the mountains.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see what that is. Because I think that Kid's going to... Well, Luffy's definitely going to come to Elbaf. So I just I'm just gonna wonder what the state it's gonna be in after Kid and Shanks have whatever they're gonna do here.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, the last time we saw, I think Dorian Bragi was on a cover page story where they were still fighting. So they somehow made it back here.
Right.
So, wouldn't they have to go through Fishman Island to get to the New World? I'm just trying to imagine that.
I rarely hooked them up, It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. And we see Oimo and Kashi too from Eni's Lobby. Another Eni's Lobby thing coming back.
Yeah, man, for sure. And just sorry, that one point we were seeing all the Navy ships pulling up and everything. So Kazari is probably nearby at this point also.
It says they're all en route, so we don't know exactly how far out they are. But
yeah.
But
it's definitely accelerating.
Mm-hmm. But on that point, I can see like a Buster call happening, and then they would somehow have to escape that.
Which would be another callback
to Eni's Lobby. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, I'm curious to see how they deal with that, and then obviously no update from Blackbeard Law right now. But like I said, yeah, it's interesting to see the trio. Luffy's is going to be in contact with the Goris thing, and he's in contact with Vegapunk, and then Law Blackbeard, and then Kid and Shanks. So it's kind of, this is definitely a big moment for them too. And I don't know, I'm just saying, like, I know a lot of people are like, Kid's going to get annihilated. I think there's going to be a surprise. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to say what the surprise is, but because I don't know that. I think Oda's purposely undercutting our expectations right now.
I think that's all I have to say besides the fact that we had no cover story this week.
We'll continue next week, I hope, or 2 weeks from now, right?
Yeah.
The cold-blooded Germa voyage. So
yeah. I swear it's gonna go into 2024 at this point.
I hope so. It's just gonna be like a long, just cover everything he wanted to cover in the main story, and that's gonna be the whole cover story till the end of the series.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you all for listening. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you all next week. Peace.
See ya.